Welcome to another episode of I Love Youth Work. We are here with genuine, legendary royalty of youth work, Henry Charles. He is the godfather of youth work. Yo, and welcome to another episode of I Love Youth Work.
Hi, welcome to I Love Youth Work.
Welcome to another episode of I
Welcome
Love
to
Youth
another
Work.
edition of I Love Youth Work. That's the name.
I like youth work, and your mama loves youth work.
Henry, how would you describe yourself?
Well, I would describe it very what I have done. Most of what I have done is about dealing with issues of social justice, whether it is in the labor movement, in the youth movement, issues of social justice, about disrupting systems and structures and processes that are unjust. Really.
Busy man.
Yeah, that's this
Revolutionary, a disruptive force.
Yeah.
So, like most of the young people that we work with, and I suppose that's where some of the magic is. So, for those of the people that are watching this who might not know some of the challenges that you faced, some of the successes that you've had, how would you be able to summarize? How many years you've been in youth work? Let's talk about that.
Well, youth work, since 1978, so I think it's about 40 years.
Wow.
40 years I've been there. I mean, being as a member in clubs, been in leadership position in clubs, participating in the development of a national youth council, and then moving on to work at the regional and international level. And now I find myself at the end of doing a lot more research, some aspects of academia, because I do also lecture a bit at the University of the West Indies on various aspects of youth development. Doing some writing as well, the academic writing on youth development, but still engaging, supporting processes, government at the government level, supporting youth groups. In fact, I'm currently it's now about almost 6 to 8 years now, a member of the advisory board of the Caribbean Regional Youth Council.
Yeah.
So that is
And
basically
we first met in the Caribbean at
in
University of West Indies.
Jamaica, at the conference in 2015.
The conference was discussing positive developments for youth
So
as we move
yes,
into this 21st century.
Yes.
Where do you think we find ourselves now? That, we're in the 21st century firmly. We're 18 years in. Where are we with youth work?
Well, we have done a lot of work. A lot of work has sometimes I reflect and I ask myself whether our tanks were too small for the amount of work that we did, and so that a lot of that water has just overflown and gone away. And I say that because perhaps for the amount of work, that has been contributed by various persons in youth development, at all aspects of youth development, I don't know that one is seeing perhaps the kind of results that now at one level, yes, in terms of the caring aspects and addressing the deficits and the some of those issues of young people. A lot of that one can say, okay, we could point to young people who may have been young people in the justice system and who have improved. You could point to young people who may have been abusers, substance abusers who have gotten out and they've done better. You could do that. But in terms of young people as a consistent and force in terms of transforming the social, economic, and political landscape, it is happening. Young people are transforming it and things so. But of course, you need very powerful forces. And I think oftentimes it is perhaps because we as youth development workers, I think we have lulled ourselves into some kind of complacency, where we believe everybody who's a stakeholder is in fact a supporter of youth empowerment or has the same objective of youth empowerment. I keep now, maybe after many years and whatever, I now keep saying to young people that this whole process of youth empowerment is this journey. You will get some friends who may carry you or may walk with you part of the journey. But the only person who has the responsibility to complete the journey are you, the young people. Yes. And therefore, you need to be able to assess your stakeholders. You need to be able to know from even in the beginning, what are they bringing and how far can they go? Because in my own thinking is that youth empowerment, the part of youth, there's a part of, we talk a lot of youth empowerment, but the critical part of youth empowerment, I find, it's like the elephant in the room, the issue of power, the notion of power, the concept of power. And the fact that by the youth empowerment is really supposed to destabilize the power relationships in the society, right? We need to bring about some kind of equilibrium in that power structure in the society. That is what youth empowerment is about. But so there's the very forces, including international agencies, who are supposed to be working with you towards this thing, are not going to be the beneficiaries as they would like to of that, this, this relocation and this restructuring of power structure.
It's dangerous. It's dangerous for different people.
Yes.
So I 100% agree with that. We've found that on our travels, that people who are interested in our work are interested because they have different agendas.
Yes, so they have different agendas.
Yeah, they want young people to be, like, once the problem goes away, sometimes the services disappear too.
Yes,
yeah, we've seen that, yeah.
And then, now that is, in a sense, I say there's nothing wrong with that because you'll get different things. But it is for us to know that. So we do not get lulled into some kind of false sense of security that, these people are with us, and then we're going along only to find tomorrow, wait a minute, where were these people? So it's a conscious decision of young people deciding that we are embarking upon a journey of empowerment.
Yeah.
And we are identifying that there are some people who we will work with.
And it's that word "with" that's at the heart of this.
Yeah.
And I remember we had a conversation, I can't remember if it was in Jamaica or Uganda or here even, it's been a bit of a blur.
Yeah.
Where it's the thing about "with," you can't do youth empowerment to
you
young people. That word is disempowering.
Yeah.
It has to be "with." And something that whenever I've heard you speak, it's always been around that.
Yes.
It's about going on their journey, not us coming along and saying, hey, we can solve this thing for you, we can do this to you. That negates the whole process.
And I say that to youth workers all the time. They're well-intentioned, but you speak with them and they say, okay, what are you doing? Well, I'm empowering youth.
I'll be empowering
and
you.
I said, but okay, you are employed by the state, the neoliberal state, okay, the post-colonial state, okay, or the neo-colonial states, that's your employer. Do you have power? You, the youth worker, do you have power? And you're like, how do you mean? I said, but you just told me you're going to
give it to someone else.
Now, do you have power to share it? And if you had power, would you share it? So let us discuss that journey about you are empowering people, and let us start to recognize, what it is, what it is about. Because it's a point I was making just earlier, even for something like the Commonwealth Youth Program as an example. Wonderful work has been done on the Commonwealth Youth Program. Again, because you've had some wonderful people in there, from Nicholas Brathwaite. All of these different people have done some good work. But every time I reflect on the birth of the Commonwealth Youth Program, I ask myself the question, 1973, those guys agreed to establish the Commonwealth Youth Program to support young people and youth development and youth work and things in the Caribbean and in the Commonwealth and whatever. What was happening before that? What was happening during that time? But many of the young people of the Commonwealth were the leaders and the active participants in the independence movements, in the national liberation movements in Asia, in Africa, and all of the Latin America, all over those places, and whatever. And so the very leaders who sat in 1973 in Canada and made the decision to establish the youth program, they were very well aware of the potent power of young people as a force for social change and for for transformation of society. They were aware of it. Now, were they rewarding young people, saying, excellent work you have brought about the decolonization, and you brought about the liberation movement in Nigeria, in this and whatever, and therefore we created the CYP program to give you a platform to do even better work? Or were they saying, let us let's structure this thing and develop this perception and concept of youth work that is about saying that how wonderful you are, but confining you as to how best, you could just ask the state for a little support for your club and whatever.
Listen, we could sit here and we can talk, and I think what's happening is that people watching this can recognize that we have a history in our tribe. I call it a tribe, people call it a profession. We don't celebrate our elders enough, and I'm gonna pay respect to say that you're elders, and the vast amount of experience and knowledge. And if I want to be frank, some of this is dangerous talk, but it's real talk, and it needs to be said. And we need to be braver, I think, and we're sharing it, and we're on a journey with this. Because we want to share it, and some people have said, who are you to have a podcast? What do you know? And I said, I'll tell you what we know. We know who our elders are. We know who to pay respect to, and we need to have this conversation if it's vulnerable. Because when we start having these conversations, we might lose our funding. We might lose our professorships, because this is a worthy battle, and it's a noble battle. The nurturing of our children is the most important thing that we can do. And we want to thank you for sparing the time with this space. Anyone's watching can contact you. We'll have your details down below, and we can continue this conversation. Is there a message that you would like to people from across the world are going to be watching this? What message would you have for fellow colleagues, youth workers?
Well, the message I have is this: we may be, even though we are well-intentioned, we have to always be cautious, because we may be subconsciously or very subtly perpetuating the deficit and the negative. And whether you look at most of the documents that speak about the global youth development processes, many of them use the starting point of the 1965 United Nations General Assembly Declaration on Youth. Right? But for some reason, conveniently otherwise, they seem to be forgetting that on November the 10th, 1945, young people met in London at the World Youth Conference on the cusp of the end of the Second World War, and made a very solemn pledge to the world that they, the young people meeting there, representing 130 countries, would work to ensure that never again is there a global war that is going to, because they are the young people who's going to be paying the price for it. And for some reason in the youth development discourse that you see that has been sanitized and taken on, they speak about when the governments met in 1965 at the UN General Assembly. We appreciate that. But the governments are responding to the decisions of young people in 1945, 20 years earlier. So I want to say to people, always look, young people have always been leading those processes. We just need to have faith in the young people, and trust and respect. Because young people know whether you are becoming genuine or you are BSing them.
They know.
Respect.
And I'm thankful for you. I'm also thankful for the young people for pushing the envelope. Because that's their role. It always has been, and it always will be.
So on that point of faith, trust and respect, I hope you enjoyed this short amount of time that we had with the godfather of youth work. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.